humans want to uphold the status quo. People don't want to be challenged. So like who you're around, that dictates what the status quo is.
You're listening to the Science and Spirit of Happy podcast, where we discuss the rational, strategic, and psychological methods, but also the deep reasons and spiritual philosophy behind being happy down to the soul. Happiness isn't just hedonism. It's not even solely personal. Getting happy dramatically increases your effectiveness in every area, from business and finance to relationships. When we align with our own personal version of ideal, we end up not just happier, but healthier, more whole, more successful and richer, but even loving and loved. It's my opinion that getting happy for yourself is the absolute best way to serve the people in your life. I'm your host, Laura Bowers, master healer and academic researcher, and this is another episode diving into
the science and spirit of happy.
A logical path to soul.
G'day, y'all. Welcome back. I'm pretty excited to talk about today's topic, which is how who you're around affects you and like why it matters. So we're talking about relationships, and obviously we're talking about, creating the friendships and the love relationships and the community that you want. But also like today we're going to talk about like the community that you have already and how that affects you being able to create these other kinds of relationships as well as everything else. And there are a lot of reasons why this is true. There's a lot of ways that the people around us affect us, and we're going to dive into these ways. But one of the kind of overarching principles is that like humans want to uphold the status quo, right? Humans don't want newness. Humans don't want change. They don't want things to rock the boat, myself included. It doesn't matter how, open-minded you are, how adventurous, etc. If you're like an adventurous person, you probably want to uphold that status quo, that this is how, you live life. People don't want to be challenged. So like who you're around, that dictates what the status quo is. This is very important to set the tone of your life. If you want a better relationship, like you need to be surrounded by better relationships. If you want a closer, more loving and supportive community, you have to start surrounding yourself with better kinds of people. Like you have to start surrounding yourself with people who are aligned with those principles. Because like you cannot hack their influence out of your life. Harvard did a 25-year study on motivation, and they found that, success in general was 95% due to what they called the reference group. So your reference group, who you are referring to, the people who are around you. 95%. Okay, this is not just career and money stuff, though money is energy, and energy is our capacity to create in general. Like this is the workings of the heart are influenced. Your relationships are ruled by the heart. Empathy is our nature. Empathy is our nature. If you don't believe me, walk by somebody in dire struggle on the street. Tell me how you feel. Empathy is our nature. You cannot escape from that. Well, I mean, you can't do it in any way that is humane. that is aligned with human nature. I watched this study of participants going into to fill out questionnaires. The researchers had participants come in to fill out questionnaires. One set of people were in a room by themselves to fill out the questionnaire by themselves. The other set of people were put in a room with 10 other people that they thought were participants, but they're actually there to play a role. And then they put smoke under the doorway, one of the doorways into the room. So it looked as if there was like a massive fire in the room next to the room that the participants were filling out this survey. So in the instance where the person was alone in the room, they got up to tell somebody that there was a fire, like almost immediately within, 10, 15, 20 seconds. The people that were in the other room, or the other participants were instructed to just completely ignore the smoke and act like they didn't even see it. They just continued to fill out their questionnaires. Those people didn't raise the alarm for, longer than, 10 minutes. They just leave. They'd look up, and you'd see, it was on this video, they'd look up and see that the smoke was billowing and it'd get thicker and stronger. And then they'd look around and nobody was reacting. So they'd look back down to their paper, because the way that what other people are assessing a situation dramatically affects what we think is accepted, is normal, is right. When they put study participants in a row and ask them the same question sequentially, when they've put people in the row that will answer incorrectly, 40% of the time, the person that is the actual participant will answer the same wrong answer, even though they know they're wrong, just because everybody said the wrong answer. They actually question themselves. Apparently they have all kinds of different reasonings when they're asked, why did you say the wrong thing, even though you knew it was the wrong answer? They have all kinds of different reasonings, from questioning themselves, thinking, well, maybe they didn't understand, or just deferring to, the audience, deferring to what the majority was saying, etc. But this number drops to 5% when there's one other person, like a comrade, who answers differently. This also decreases when the participant is able to write their answer down where everybody else is giving it verbally, so they know that everybody's given the wrong answer. It also decreases dramatically when they can write the answer down and submit it, without going against the status quo, verbally, obviously. And this just calls to mind, people who do things privately. I know multiple people who have started a business privately, and not shared it with their friends, etc. And I mean, you have to kind of ask yourself, why would that be? And there's a lot of different reasons for it, from, these kind of linear ways of looking at it, that the reasons that the people gave in the studies for giving the wrong answer or whatever, upholding the status quo, questioning yourself, thinking that other people must be right because there's a lot of them, or just not wanting to upset the tribe, because we're super communal. We're the most social species on the planet. We're meant to work together, to be together in a way that's cooperative. So of course, the people that are around you are going to dictate what that cooperation looks like, what you're cooperating on, right? You could be, your whole life could be a dumpster fire. But if you have people around you who they don't think that, they don't see the fire, they don't see the smoke, they don't see it as dangerous, like those participants in the smoke room. You might see all of these problems in your life that you want to solve. and then look around and talk to people and they don't think it's a problem. So you just go on with things that, could be like highly destructive, and vice versa for things that are positive. Often these things, they're not linear at all either. I remember being with an energy healer when I was studying to be an energy healer, with the master healer when I was studying to be a master healer. This woman tested my field with dowsing rods. So you can test, apparently you can test energetic fields, like somebody's aura or their energetic field, with dowsing rods. And as weird as that might sound, I've watched it work like a lot of times, not just with people, but with like places too, and different like plants. And anyways, it's weird. But what happens is the person walks towards the other person. They have these kind of dowsing rods that are like an L shape, and they pivot, like they can spin right around while the person's holding the handle. So they walk, and the two dowsing rods are pointed towards the person. And I've seen it happen time and time again, where at one point they split, like they've hit a kind of like a wall, right? So you walk towards the person, they split, and then you walk back and they go forward again, and you walk towards the person, they split again. So this is apparently a way that you can test somebody's field. When they tested my field, usually it's like, it's like 3 feet of, a few feet around you. Some people have like extra large auras, and they'll be like, 5 feet or even 6 feet. When my field was tested by the dowsing rods, I filled an entire room. She kept like walking towards me and nothing was happening, or like they just start spinning. So she kept going backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards, to the point where like she was just like walking into the room, and the dowsing rods were splitting for me. Like my field is really big. If you have been listening to previous podcasts, you might remember me saying that energy is my main way of knowing. So, which makes me kind of a weird person to be around, because like I read the energy of the situation before anything else. So like it makes me like, I'm really, really sensitive to what is going on. And that's because people around me, they're literally like, they're inside my field. Like things will really bother me if something's going on with somebody around me. It can just drive me bananas, because they're literally sitting inside my field. And you don't need to have, an energy field that's as big as a room. I don't even know if this is entirely, correct at all in any way, shape, or form. But I know that we affect one another, like in ways that I can't even begin to describe, right? We're sharing energy, we're affecting one another. People who feel like love, people who feel like they are loved will make you feel like you are loved. People who feel calm, they're going to make you feel calm. People who feel abundant, they're going to make you feel abundant. People who feel dignified, they're going to make you feel like you're dignified. People with integrity, they're going to inspire integrity in you. People who are healthful, they're going to inspire health in you. You see vitality, you're going to be uplifted. People who feel wealthy, you're going to feel, more capable of creating wealth in their presence. People who are empowered are going to make you feel more empowered. People who are capable are going to make you feel capable. People who are motivated, they're going to make you feel motivated. People who are in control are going to foster a sense of agency in you, that you're in control. Now, this begs the question, what do I do when someone is dignified and that makes me feel like crap? When someone is wealthy and that makes me feel the opposite, right? I feel dirt poor, etc. This could be a lot of things. I talk at length about, jealousy and envy and the different ways that our energy can be diverted. when we have micro trauma in the courses and how to get over that. And that could definitely be, an issue with you where your energy, something that like you're actually aligned with, you're supposed to be living, a wealthy life, and the energy is blocked, and therefore jealousy comes out because, the desire is still there because it's a purpose need. It's aligned with you. It's aligned with who you are, but you're kind of diverting it in a way that makes it so that like you feel it like the desire for wealth and the alignment with that wealth is not possible for you. So, it inspires like negative emotions. But also, maybe like those people are living in their ego tool. Maybe they're populating their ego tool instead of really being deeply, connected to themselves. And it's not really dignity. It's actually snobbishness, or it's not really motivated, but it's like a performance, or it's motivated by the wrong reasons. Or maybe you can't share the feeling because you're so worried about what they're going to think. All of this stuff is symptomatic of you being around the wrong people for extended periods of time. So when we bring our consciousness and our feelings and our energy to the external, right? When we're thinking, sensing, and feeling about ourselves the way that we think other people are, this comes from people not accepting you. This comes from, typically parents, but, society, or, just previous experiences of people that don't accept you. So you had to try to figure out what they needed to give you belonging, because we need belonging more than anything. But this just brings this all back to how much we need other people. And if we're not around the right kinds of people, how destructive that needing can be, right? How we are so communicative, where we live in community, we live in commune with other people. If this is not like a mutually beneficial relationship, if this is not on the up and up, if this is not aligned properly, it can be so destructive. Human beings can't go it alone. It's just not in our nature. We're not made that way. This is a completely non-conscious effect. Looking at these studies, looking at how much the people around us affects us from doing basic math to survival stuff to like life success, over the span of the course of a lifetime. This is completely not conscious. You are not aware of people's effect on you. Therefore, if you're not aware of it, like, you can't hack yourself out of it. You can't block it. You can't maneuver around it. Like, if you want a great relationship, you need to have people around you who are having great relationships, or at least are supportive of what it takes to have a great relationship. And really what that comes down to is people living their purpose. So that grows into everything else, because the relationships in our life, they really are the foundation to every other kind of success. So if you want friends around you that have great relationships and are good friends that love and support you, you need people around you who are living their purpose. So it's not possible to have great relationships without being in a great relationship with yourself first. And I explained this in the previous episode on love and heartbreak. But that means honoring who you really are. And therefore, that means also following the path of your highest potential, or at least your development. We're unfolding. This is our nature. It's our purpose to unfold and get better. And you'll find the cool people there. You'll find the cool people on the path to betterment. always, you'll always, like, the majority of people that are like at the higher echelons of society are really, really, really cool. And I don't just mean monetary. I mean, the most educated, the most fit, whatever, the most musically skilled, whatever it is, the most like artistic or like the most, well developed in their careers, etc. You'll find that they are really, really incredible people there. And if you want that, you have to be on the path to getting there yourself. You can't expect like great relationships and mediocrity, as much as the media wants us to believe that, or not the media, but like as much as like movies and stuff. I had this feeling that like a simple life was like the best life, and I think that the best things in life really are simple. But there's nothing beautiful about a simple life. Okay, like you go to a small town and you see how bored and catty and judgy and gossipy people are. Like, if you want great things, you have to live a great life. If you want a great life, you have to be doing great things. And Harvard proved that if you want to be doing great things, you have to be surrounded by great people. So it's like this never-ending spiral. So if you're having really difficult times in any of these areas, you like, look at the people around you. This is specifically why I reopened the Sustainable Dreams Inc. membership, so that people could enter a community of like-minded, supportive people on a path of personal development, because I found myself in a situation where I didn't have that. And I realized how important it was and how much I wanted to give that to other people. So that is open and that is available for you to enroll. And I really, really hope that I see you there. But until next time, when we are talking about whether or not relationships need space, I will bid you adieu and see you there. Good day, y'all.